you ready, Alan? You ready?
It says screen, so I hope so.
Okay. We will call the USD 489 February 23rd meeting to order. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
I make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay. All those in favor vote yes.
Before we do, I'd like to request that we add an executive session after 6.2 before we talk about administrator contract extensions.
After, before.
Okay, so
Before we go into administrator contract extensions, so after 6.2, before 6.3.
I'll second that.
Yeah. You're approving, just so you clarify, you're approving the agenda, not the motion, because you do have to make a motion to go to executive session.
That has
Do I
to be a
need a-
separate motion when it comes time.
When it comes time, not when we're doing.
Well, I mean, that's what we always do. When we go to executive session, you have to make the motion to go to executive session.
But you're approving the change in the
The
agenda.
agenda, you can move
Right.
it, you can move it.
So I'm asking to put it onto the agenda so we can make the motion when it's time,
Sure, yeah.
right?
Well.
is that correct, Bill?
Well, are you changing the order of business?
It would go in between two items.
I think you probably need to do that by motion.
So motion now or motion then?
You need to do it now because you're changing the order of business.
Okay, so I make the motion to add 6.3 executive session before administrator contract extensions. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
Before we talk in here about it, we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Rick,
Okay, yes.
You need to move your microphone to me.
Is there a second then? Derek,
Yes,
second?
I'll
Okay,
second.
all those in favor say yes.
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 All opposed? Tell us when you're ready, Jess. No.
Okay, so she made a different motion besides the original approval of the agenda, correct?
Yes.
Yes. My first time doing this, you have to mess with me,
I'm so
Jamie.
sorry. I'm so sorry. You're doing great. You're doing really good.
I haven't got that far yet.
Don't blame me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it in. It didn't pop up for me.
It's coming. I'm supposed to take
So now do we need to motion
the
again?
actual agenda.
Okay. So I make the motion to approve the agenda with the approved changes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Passes 6-0.
All right. USD 489 District Mission, Vision, Core Values. The mission of USD 489 is to provide a quality learning experience for every student in every classroom every day. To support the mission of the district, the USD 489 Board of Education includes supporting a vision that encompasses high student achievement, highly effective staff, effective and positive communications, effective management of resources. Also vital to keeping focus on the district's mission and vision are that USD 49 Board of Education supports the district's core values, being a champion for all kids, bringing your best every day, carrying the banner for your school and district, and selling and creating possibilities and opportunities for students for their futures. Okay, consent agenda, Ron?
Yeah, just pretty basic board meeting minutes from our last regular meeting on February 9th, also for our special board meeting that occurred on February 16th. You have the Hayes Rec Commission meetings, personnel transactions, no retirements that we want to highlight this evening. ECC, Policy Council, agenda and minutes. The 2.5 is just, I think it's about a student activity account, so they can do ACH online payments, and Chris can answer questions about that. Financials, Chris?
Just the way the meeting dates fell, the bond tracking is actually updated again because we do the payments on the 20th, so 2 meetings in a row here, both in February, but the last one was payments through January. This one is actually payments through February, so that's a be up to date coming into the GMP conversation.
Okay, any discussion for Chris or Ron? Okay, do I have an approval of the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Madam President,
Yes.
I would like to pull another note at Purple Wave.
There is no purple wave on consent agenda.
It's after January cash, Purple Wave. Yeah, there's a thing on Purple Wave settlement.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought you were talking to my communications.
And then I just want to comment on, maybe we just take care of this on the special meeting minutes. I think there's a correction on the, I don't know, on the very ending it said that only 4 people carried 4-0, but before the time was up, there was another vote for all 7 people who voted. And you said that only 4 people voted, and there was a move and second that Mr. Weiner came in and closed the meeting just because he's out of the room. And I don't know what he did without the president, but it was closed by Mr. Weiner, and all of us voted. Right there it just says 4-0. Does anybody else remember that?
Well, that was when we were in executive session at our special
No,
meeting
this
last week.
is when we came back, yeah.
Yeah.
And we came back in here.
Yeah.
But the minutes read that there was only 4 people who voted to close the meeting at 7:55.
So prior to everybody coming back,
Everybody was here, and we closed the meeting, all of us together.
well, kind of, like when we came back from executive session, there's 4 of us, and there's a couple people that are a little late, so we had a majority, and we voted to close it, then we came back in.
Who was the president that did it?
Vice
President.
Vice President, I was here.
Right, but you says that you,
I seconded the motion.
you seconded your own motion.
No, I didn't make the first motion.
So what about the second vote? And didn't we all vote on that one, or, because he did it again and we all voted?
Yeah, because Kurt came back in late, and we had
I
4
can't
had already, and we 4 had already voted.
But he called the meeting
But-
over and voted again.
But it was just to end the meeting, and policy states we really don't have to end the meeting. Motion like that. President can, yeah.
Oh, I just think that's a little, it doesn't reflect what happened that night.
So you want to make a motion to change that then, Alan?
Okay, that's fine.
No.
It's just the board. There was
Yeah, it was
no
just the
one else
board.
there.
If you want to. I mean,
To correct the minutes,
yeah, you can make a motion to correct the minutes.
I can wait and visit with Mr. Viner to see if that he remembered it differently.
Yeah, because he was standing up right here then,
Right.
and then did the, but we had all 4 already voted, and then he came back in and, correct, guys?
Yes.
I mean, do you remember that, recall that from last week?
Yes.
Okay. So you good, or you,
That'll be fine. Just pull the Purple Wave section
okay,
and have a discussion on that.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. so do we have a motion to approve the, pull the Purple Wave consent agenda item?
You don't need a motion.
Yeah,
Don't need
if there's anything pulled out of there, they don't need
Okay,
a motion.
all right. All right, public forum. Is there anyone from?
Oh, wait, we didn't vote, though.
Okay,
We're doing.
sorry, guys.
You're doing so good.
You're doing good.
Okay, so I need a second then.
No, Kim seconded.
I seconded it. We just need to vote.
Okay, so we can pop up? All those in favor? Okay. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Okay, passes 6-0.
Okay, so we talk about that now or when?
No, but that gets added to the end.
Okay, all right. Okay, public forum. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak at this time? All right, seeing none, we will move on to presentations. Early Childhood Connections Update, Dawn Bush.
Hello, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? It's very far. Can you hear me okay?
Maybe put it up a little bit. There you go.
Like that?
There you
Is
go.
that better?
That's
Yeah.
better.
Thank you. There. Oh, okay. It's better. Okay, how's that? Okay. So this is a training so I can provide an overview of the connections program and the responsibilities of the governing body. By law, I have to do this within 60 days of a new education, any new board members. And I'm going to be using this, so hopefully it works okay. Got it, okay. Our current mission statement is empowering families to live the possibilities by nurturing children, family, and community connections. I'll start with an overview of our prenatal to 3 programming. Our Parents as Teachers preschool program is through USD 489, but we also have an agreement to provide services to the Russell School District. We serve approximately 75 children. The Parents as Teacher program has changed in that you can serve children prenatally up to age 5. This is state funded with a match from both school districts. Anyone can enroll for this program. We also have a partnership with CAPATA, which is Kansas Parents as Teachers Association, to be a Bright Futures site, which means we are a direct referral source for DCF. Early Head Start serves Ellis, Rush, Rooks, and Russell families. There are 3 funding sources for this program. The federal Early Head Start grant provides funds for 27 slots. This is a federal grant through the Office of Head Start. The Kansas Early Head Start Child Care Grant provides funding for 16 slots. It's a state grant through DCF. The Kansas Early Head Start Home-Based Grant provides funding for 26 slots. It's a state grant through DCF. This is a total of 69 children. Eligibility is based on income and age. Within our prenatal to 3 program, we have several different delivery options. The first service delivery option is center-based services. We have a licensed facility, Building 3 at the Early Childhood Complex. It is open 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday year-round. We serve 22 children, 1 infant classroom with 6 children, and 2 toddler classrooms with 8 children each. The program partners with family child care providers to serve children. We have 1 partnering provider currently in Hayes. We have 10 slots for this program option. For both these options, parents are supported with monthly visits by a family support worker. We offer a home-based option where children receive their visits in the home. For the Parents as Teachers program, this is their only program option. They are 60-minute visits 1 or 2 times per month. The Early Head Start program is 90-minute weekly visits. We have 37 slots for Early Head Start and approximately 20 for PAT in this program option. Weekly playgroups are also offered. Okay, so this is an overview of our 3 to 5-year-old program. Starting with Head Start, the grant serves Ellis, Rush, Rooks, and Russell counties. It serves 123 3- and 4-year-olds. This is a federal grant with a local match, meaning for every $4 of federal funds, we need to show $1 of match, which is in kind. Eligibility is based on age and income. The state pre-kindergarten serves Hayes School District only. It serves both 3 and 4-year-olds. The eligibility factors include free lunch, single-parent family, teen when the child was born, either parent lacking a high school diploma or GED, limited English proficiency, developmentally delayed based on assignment. Each child is considered half-time in the funding formula. USD 489 preschool is a tuition-based preschool. She has morning and afternoon slots, so she can accommodate 30 children. The Early Childhood Block Grant supports full-day services and RTI, which is response to intervention, for students that need some assistance in literacy and numeracy, but do not require special education services. All 4-year-olds are given the MyIGDs. Based on their score, they may receive some individual work on the specific areas they are struggling with. This grant is funded through the Children's Cabinet with the tobacco settlement funds. There are 3 program options in the preschool age. Full-day center-based option is available for all 6 of the classrooms in Hayes and the classroom in Russell. The classrooms run 8 to 3:30, Monday through Thursday. Each family has a family advocate that meets with the families to support family goals 6 times a year. Ellis and La Crosse school districts each have 2 half-day sessions that also include 4-pay community children. These sessions are from 8 to 11:30 and 12 to 3:30. All Head Start families also have family advocates to support them. USD 489 preschool has a morning and afternoon session 5 days a week, each lasting 2.5 hours. The home-based preschool options include a weekly 90-minute home visit. There are also weekly playgroups available. USD 489 is the grantee for the Head Start program, meaning the school district holds the grant. USD 489 provides oversight for the program, including the management and fiscal portions. The program follows USD 489 policies and procedures. Head Start uses a shared decision-making framework where items are approved through the Policy Council and submitted to the governing board, which is you guys. The structure of Head Start grant is from the federal government to the grantee. Our program is under the West region of Head Start. This regional office provides us support. Locally, the school board is considered the governing body. The governance triangle includes the staff, including myself, which is operating responsibility. The Policy Council must approve or disapprove specific items we will discuss later. It is then submitted to the school board. The school board has the over responsibilities. I'll have some more specific items here in a minute on that. The following information is required to be reported to the governing body. The monthly financial statements comes from the business office with the other district reports. The director's report covers the program information summaries. CACFP reports and communication guidance from Secretary of HHS or Office of Head Start. The PIR is submitted annually to the board. The school board has a member that serves on the Policy Council, that's Craig, and serves as liaison that helps support participation in these activities. Several other board activities include establishing procedures for recruiting, selecting and enrolling children, which is our priority grid. This is submitted yearly. Policy Council bylaws are updated annually and sent to the board. All applications are sent to the school board for approval. Several items need review and approval from the school board as the governing board. Those items include the self-assessment, the financial audit, grants, personnel policies, which follow USD 489 policies, and any results from monitoring. The Head Start grant is a 5-year grant. We are currently in the first year of a 5-year grant. The program is based on performance standards. A program establishes program goals for the grant. The goals are updated annually as part of the renewal grants. Besides the grant 5-year goals, the program establishes school readiness goals aligned with Head Start learning standards and the EXE state standards. Each program undergoes a cycle of monitoring reviews. The Focus Area 1 review occurs in year 2. Focus Area 2 review occurs in either year 3 or 4. These slides outline the 4 program goals in the grant. I'll let you guys read. I guess I can go over it. Program Goal 1, children are ready for school. Program Goal 2, families are engaged in the child's education. Program Goal 3, management systems ensure a well-managed program. And Program Goal 4, community partnerships are developed and strengthened. It is a requirement that the governing body and policy council are updated on how the program determines eligibility. The program utilizes an online enrollment system. The first step is determining eligibility, which includes verification of age and income. An interview is conducted with each family as a part of the enrollment program. This interview is conducted over the phone or in person if needed. The interviews are conducted privately. Policies are in place regarding intentionally providing false information. Every year we have Kansas Reads to Preschoolers. This year's book is Little Nita's Big Idea. I didn't invite anyone because honestly I'm new and I felt a little I had a lot of things on my plate, I guess. But if anybody wanted to, you are welcome to send me an email and I could set that up because I know people enjoy it. I just didn't have a chance to send out invites for everyone. And that's it. Thank you for your support of the Early Childhood Program.
All right, thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Dawn, when is that? Is it the first of March for next week?
Yeah, it's coming up, yeah, I just went to send any invites out.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dawn. All right, reports. Ron.
Yeah, I'll be real quick tonight. The House has not debated the state budget, or maybe they've actually started today probably. I think there's still time to contact our local House representatives, Barb Wassinger and Ken Rogers, to just kind of put a plug in for special ed. Currently, the budget only includes about $10 million for SPED, which is not enough. And they have a lot of dollars that they are giving in other places. I think sometimes that they just need to hear from a lot of people, and sometimes school board members are individuals that sometimes carry a little weight. So I tried to include a little message that you could send, so just want to encourage you to contact them if you feel the need. And that's really all I have.
They are at the library this Saturday at 8 o'clock, sponsored by the Chamber, so they'll be in attendance. Okay. All right. 6 action discussion items. We wanted to do HVAC, correct?
Yep, that is
Okay.
correct.
Just a reminder, I have to excuse myself from this one because my husband was
I have Rusty, or I'll start with Rusty.
Good evening. So my understanding of why I'm here is just sort of give some history and sort of where we started out and why we're looking at this, why we have the service agreement and why we're looking at continuing it. So 12 years ago when I came here, we were running steam plant systems that basically consisted of radiators with a valve and a steam trap in at least 3 of the buildings. We were running hot water, chill water systems that were using either a univent or a fan coil unit. Those items at that time had considerable age on them, but they're like an old Model T, or they just keep on going, and they're not hard to work on. A steam system that's got a radiator or even a fan coil unit, you can pretty much really work on them with a crescent wrench and a set of screwdrivers and a special tool to adjust the pneumatic thermostat on them. Thermostat runs off of air. Air closes a ballast on a valve that lets steam or hot water in. On a steam system, you've got what's called a steam trap that holds the steam in until it turns to water and then releases the water and lets it go on. Pretty simple, straightforward. Radiator systems don't have any filters on them. The only time you work on them is if something breaks. Boiler plant for a steam system is pretty straightforward too. Once you close it up, you add chemical to it, you start producing steam. Come fall, you break it down and drain it and wash it out and make sure that your safety systems on it, which were all analog, worked, and you were set for the next season. HVAC in those buildings were either split units or window units, and they pretty much ran until they died, and then you replaced them. There was some service to them, but not a lot of service on them. Going into the hot water, chill water, you had a chiller. The chiller was a little bit more of a service. It required a little more service than the steam plants. But at that time, they were running R12. It didn't take a lot of special licensing and really anything other than a set of gauges and going out and working on it. A lot of it was still analog. There was some digital components to it, but most of it was analog. very straightforward to work on. Same thing with the boiler systems that we had at that time that were producing the hot water. Instead of steam, you're running hot water through either a fan coil unit or a univent. They do require a filter. They consist of a filter, a fan coil, and basically a coil like a radiator, and you run air over it, and you're either chilling off of it or you're heating off of it. Same pneumatic thermostats, not much more complicated than the radiator other than you've added a fan to it. Same thing, minimal amount of tools to go work on it, service filters, probably quarterly, if semi-annually, most likely. It's the summer, the custodians would blow them out with air, make sure that they were cleaned out. Not a lot of, they weren't really needing a lot of service. So on those, fan might go bad, valve might go bad. It's basically the same thing, same requirement of tools. If a filter did get dirty on one of those, it's going to cut the airflow down, but it's not going to shut the unit off. So we've started moving away from hot water systems and chill water systems and steam systems and window air conditioners. We started going to heat pumps. High school was the only building at the time that I came here that ran a heat pump system, and it wasn't really a true heat pump system in the sense that you could run it year-round, either in heating or cooling. All these things that I'm talking about, you either had to switch them out of heating into cooling or from cooling into heating, including the heat pumps at the high school. It was new technology when the high school was built, and I don't know exactly why, but it would not work if you tried to automate it to where it would automatically change over. So they came in, they done some work on it before I was here, several years before, and basically set it up to where it was either in heating or in cooling, and we done a switch over on it. All that stuff would take a day to 2 days to get it switched over. When I came here, the buildings, when we went into the heating season, we basically had November 1st as the cutoff date, unless the principals called me and told me we'd basically froze them out to the point that they needed heat. When we got into the spring cooling, it was just the opposite. We'd go, I think it was March 1, I'm thinking that's when it was that we started switching over into cooling, unless it got so hot that the administrators were calling me saying, hey, we need to switch it over. So that's sort of how it worked. Then we went in and we went to the middle school first, and we went into our first VRF system. VRF was a lot more complicated than what we could work on. We had some service agreements and some stuff going with the company that put it in. It was BCS at the time. It was new enough that there was a learning curve for them. They ended up having to replace parts of it to actually get it to where it would operate correctly without losing compressors. So that's happened in the last few years. We've sort of got a balance on it. We started sending some guys to tech training for some certification to try to let them work on it, but the refrigeration and all the stuff changes on those. I mean, from the time we get them to the time we're starting the new systems or starting a new project on a building, they've changed systems on us and are working on different refrigerations. We tried doing some of it in-house, and what we were running into is that they require a lot more service, and we didn't have the skill set or the time to do all the service that we needed to do on it. Then we added water-sourced heat pump systems. They're basically a heat pump and a VRF are very similar, other than just the pressures that you're running on the refrigerant. They're both using refrigerant to heat and cool. Water-sourced heat pumps are using a water source to inject either help with the cooling of the heat pump, or inject heat into the heat pump so that you have a way to add more heat to it so it's more efficient.
Rusty,
They have
what building are you referring to on those?
Okay, so the Felton, I'm going to go with the new building names. Felton is the VRF.
Top system?
What's that?
Are you talking about the rooftops?
No, well, they're VRF, and then there's also rooftops. And when I talk about all the buildings, we're going to have what they call a makeup air system, refer to them as a DOAS. That's what's going to inject fresh air into the building, and basically what it's trying to do is take the air from the outside at whatever temperature it is and heat or cool it to bring it in at a neutral temperature, so you're not actually trying to heat or cool with it, you're just trying to bring air in and not affect the actual room temperature. Then the units in the room are actually what's doing the cooling or the heating. The Felton is a VRF and rooftop unit combination. Roosevelt is a hot water to chill water with rooftop combinations and some VRF. The VRF on that building is a water source and not an atmospheric VRF. It's actually tied into the water loop. The reason it was chose, VRF's a lot easier to get into smaller rooms like offices and stuff, and it's more economical to cool and heat those spaces with VRF than it is to try to go with the heat pump systems. Because you've got one plant that is supplying out to the units, and you only have to run the chill water or the water loop to one point rather than multiple points, if that makes sense. Then we went to the high school would have been next. That was done in 2 phases, and it is now a it is a water sourced heat pump system with rooftop units. O'Laughlin is still running chill water and hot water to part of it, but the new areas are rooftop units along with part of the other areas, and we added a DOAS. It didn't have a makeup air on it. We added a DOAS system to it. New high school is basically like the middle school. It is a water sourced heat pump, rooftop units, and VRF like in the kitchen or in the office area. So it's running that. So that's sort of the mix that we have. I mean, we can get into the ECC. It's four-star. It's a different deal. Wilson is another one that we switched over to water-sourced heat pumps. Rockwell is the only building left that's on steam. So as we get into the new systems, now you have instead of just a univent with a fan coil, a valve, and a pneumatic thermostat, now each one of those rooms that's on a heat pump has a compressor. It's all digital. It has its fan. It has the climate control part of it and all that. And its refrigerant is not R12 anymore. It's a different type of refrigerant. It's more compact, it's harder to work on, and it takes more specialized tools than what we have to do it. So that's part of the reason we were getting away from it. The other thing is they require more service than what our older stuff did. We're currently actually checking our heat pump systems once a month, changing filters on them about every other month. Some of them we get further. I mean, it depends on what's going on in the room, whether it's carpeted, whether it's hard surface. There's a lot of things that play into it. You'll be surprised how much clothes lint comes off of. If you've ever been to a basketball game and they sweep the floor in the center, you'd be surprised at how much lint actually comes off that floor just from the clothes of everybody running back and forth. So, depending on the use of the building, will determine how often we have to change filters. The units that are like in the shops, they're getting changed almost every other week. So, and they have pre-filters on them. So our filter changes went up. Currently, what we started doing and what we've been doing under the current contract is we're checking our filters inside on the heat pumps once a month. We're checking our rooftop units quarterly, and our equivalent to a rooftop unit that's sitting on a pad, down on the ground pad, they're lower, they get more grass and they get more dirt in them just because of the way where they're sitting. We're actually still checking those monthly just to make sure where we're at on those, because there's some of those that require more filter changes. So we're basically doing filter changes Some of them 12 months, because there's some that have to be changed every month. Some of them are 6 months, some of them are every 4 months, and that's sort of where we're at. With the Glassman, with them doing the contract that we currently have, they're doing 2 of those. So when they come in to do the service on the heat pumps and the other equipment, they come in, they're doing an inspection on them. There are certain things that they're hitting to make sure that the service is done and correct. And since they're already there, it's sort of redundant to have them do the service and then us walk right behind them and put a filter in. So we supply them with the filters, and while they're doing the service, they go ahead and put the filters in and take care of that part of us. So out of the 6 that we're doing every other month, we're doing 4, they're doing 2. Same thing with the rooftop units. If there's 4 of them done, we're doing 2, they're doing 2. The ground pad mounted ones, depending on how often we're changing them, they're doing 2 of them when we're doing whatever the rest is, and that's sort of how that's been working. The boiler systems and cooling towers and stuff, there's a chemical that we're using in the cooling tower that we have to maintain. The Roosevelt we've had a real problem with. If you just get it wrong or we get electrolysis going in it, we end up with it going into the heat exchanger, and it's already plugged the heat exchanger once, and we've had to disassemble the heat exchanger and change it over. We're not capable of doing it in-house. We had Glassman do that. So that service area can cost you quite a bit if you're not staying on top of it. So that's another area where we're trying to have them help us maintain that piece of it. So the long and short of it is, 1, we've already took up a lot of staffing hours in just trying to maintain filters. So we're going to be shorting something somewhere, because right now we have more than we can do. Glassman's picking that service piece of it up for us. The other thing is, we don't have the equipment and we don't have the certifications or the skill levels to work on some of the stuff that needs to be worked on. So then we're going to be pulling them out of that to go take them to training, and I don't think that's going to benefit us. I think we're better off. Different things are going to require different services. The equipment, if it's Train, Aon, whatever it is, there's a service that goes with each individual one of those. They have their own techs that work on them. They have sort of the proprietary servicing for them. That's one thing that we don't have the staff to send them to get them certified in all the different ones. Glassman's done a pretty good job of getting everybody out and getting them at least into those classes and getting them certified, so they've got that variety because they have more people. That's the long and short of what we're doing. I guess I'd open it up for questions and see if I can answer some of what's on your mind or what you're thinking.
So I guess part of the conversation last meetings have been, all the stuff you talked about as far as Glassman doing the chemicals to prevent electrolysis and causing problems. I mean, that's outside the preventive maintenance agreement.
We have a company hired to do the chemicals, but they help monitor what we've got going on with it. So it's not them actually doing the chemical testing, it's another company.
So they're monitoring that remotely, but
they're working with them, and then they also work with BCS because, like I said, of the training piece of it. And Derek, my hearing's starting to go as I get older, and with this fan noise, I can't hear you.
No, it's good. I'll try to speak up. And then I just want to clarify, because last meeting it said you guys did filter changes twice from Glassman, and we did the other ones, or I'm sorry, you said we'd do them once and we did the other ones, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it turns out that's just the ones on the roof. I wasn't aware of all the different layers of filters and different.
Yeah, and I'll apologize. I got screwed up last month. When we were setting up the asbestos abatement thing, I had it in my head that the meeting was on or not last month, but the last meeting. I had it in my head it was on the 4th. And so I was prepared for the 4th and scheduled something the next week, and that pulled me out, so that's why I wasn't here. So I wish I could have been here to answer some of that then.
And I guess the other part is, so I think at least I'm in agreement as far as if we find a problem, that you have to have some other technician that's trained specifically on that unit to be able to do the service. As far as the what do they check as part of the preventative maintenance that we aren't able to check? Is it the pressure gauges, or like what are they?
I'm going to let Eric speak to that, and I'm going to be straight up with you. I've been in buildings and grounds for 43 years now. My first 2 districts I worked in, the first one we had no air conditioning whatsoever, so I am not a refrigerant person. I understand boilers, I understand steam, I understand hot water. You get into the refrigerant side, and that's not my cup of tea. I basically work with the engineer and whoever. I got a basic understanding of how it works and why it works, but when it comes to actually working on it, that's not me.
Well, but we have an HVAC guy that can do some stuff. I mean, he might not be certified on each piece of equipment, but as far as the general things, checking bearings, checking coolant, refrigerant stuff, is he not capable of doing
and that's
general checks?
That's being done still with their service agreement because they're more of a time factor of redundancy of sending somebody to the same thing to check out 2 different things. So while they're there, they're looking at those things. I'm going to be honest with you, when we have something go down, lots of times it's beyond what we can do, and we're calling them for parts and doing that piece of it. So it's just easier to have them there at the start to actually see what's going on. They're going to be more apt to catch a problem starting than we are.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to numbers. So at this point, we're asking for $153,000 a year for all the schools besides the new Hayes High School. I'm guessing when that comes due, if you just go off of the current middle school, that's $60,000 a year. So you're going north of $200,000 for just preventative maintenance. I mean, that's not counting actually fixing a problem, the man hours, and I understand there's different rates for it. But just trying to see where the value is to have them do, the minimal maintenance stuff if we're already on site, changing filters. What all are they adding that we can't do? I understand there's a time crunch issue, but technically.
So again, I'm going to let Eric go into that piece of it just simply because the refrigerant side, I don't want to speak to it and misspeak. And I'm not trying to avoid the question. I mean, when I've had it explained to me, it makes perfect sense, and I think he could do a better job of that, answering that question. But while I'm here, what else do you have?
Yeah, Rusty, my question would be the certifications that you were talking about. You said currently we have none that are certified.
No, we have some.
You have some.
But most of our stuff is more around the older equipment, the stuff that was running off R12, the older chiller systems. We're still doing a lot with just freezers and refrigerators, that kind of thing. There's still things that we're doing that we're servicing that aren't part of that agreement. So it's not that they're not busy doing that stuff. It's just that we have added so much more than what we had to the workload that we're not capable of doing it. And if we go get even if we went and got the certifications to spend the money on it, I don't think we could manage it all.
So how many staff would you say we would have to hire in order to maintain this type of structure ourselves?
Well, and that's going to bite you because we're not going to need them all the time. So we bring that staff on, and then we're using them for specific time frames. And
so trying to find somebody full-time, paying benefits, whatnot, to do it as well.
Yeah. And Chris and I have talked about that in the past and looked at that, but right now I don't think we're set to do that.
Now, we have more staff than we used to have, and we have less buildings because we have more.
Don't go with the less building thing because your square footage is...
Footage went up.
The footage and the amount of units and everything have went
But we
up,
also
even though the buildings are less.
We farm that out to other companies that are doing that work too, so.
I'm not sure what you're... I'm not
Clean
sure.
Right and what.
That's all the
service.
cleaning side. We're just talking
Sure.
maintenance.
It's maintenance.
There's 4 maintenance people, and there's still 4 maintenance people. That part didn't change.
For maintenance, and then you also have your grounds that are available.
They're part
wintertime?
of that count. There's 4. That's
Yourself.
grounds. That's
Okay, yourself, Jeff, and
say that again.
yourself, Jeff, Aaron. That's part of the 4 plus your
No.
two.
Jeff and I are not in there. Jeff's custodial right now, and he's
not part of
been
the
helping
4.
out. He's not going out daily and working on anything. You've only got 2 people that are certified in any kind of refrigerant, and that's Aaron and Chris. Then you've got John, who's certified in electrical, and I'm going to misspeak because it was 4, I forgot, Ricketts. We had hired Ricketts for grounds. I'm not used to having him on the staff. So it's actually 5. We've got 2 that are certified in refrigerant. That's Aaron and Chris. Chris is also certified in plumbing. Then we got John, who's certified in electrical. And then we've got Jim Maska and Christian Browning, who are yards, that when they're not doing yards, they're basically helping out with general maintenance. They're not certified in to do anything. They're basically assisting whoever needs help, and they spend a lot of time with athletics at that point. They're doing ground, that's switched over to them. They're doing a lot of the event stuff, set up and that type of thing. And then Mark Ricketts also is in the yards, and he's helping with that event setup. And then
So
they're also doing like the
2 or 3 in yards. We
have 3 in yards right now, and Ricketts was hired, and he's hired into yards based on the amount of stuff that we have going on in yards right now with all the bond work. So with the grass seeding, because we took on all the grass seeding, there's a lot of stuff right now that's putting pressure on us to maintain, and new stuff going on that we wouldn't be part of maintenance.
But we've cut down a lot of square footage in outside work too. Different buildings we've cut down. Washington.
No, not really.
Not with the
Not
high
at this
school.
point.
What have we added? I mean, we don't have any more space.
Well, your square footage is the same, but you're maintaining it different because now you've taken that square footage that was just like CRP sitting stagnant, and now we're mowing it and maintaining it because
But
it's
all
went
the
into
fields
yards.
that we used to maintain are now turf.
Yeah, if there's still events set up.
Yeah,
added events
and there's
with-
also manicuring and maintenance on turf and tracks and all that, so.
During the season, but during the summer.
No, during the summer, there's actually stuff they got to go in and groom it, and there's stuff that they're doing there to maintain it too. There's a lot more to that than just saying, yeah, we got rid of the grass and we're not
We
doing
went from
anything.
1 to 3 yard people.
We went 3 while we got a lot of overseeding, and there's a lot of stuff that's been added to yards that wasn't part of yards.
And is your staff, Rusty, they're paid hourly?
Yes.
Okay, and how much overtime would you say you would pay them for maintenance like this in a
Well,
month's time?
I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't answer that, and the reason I can't is we were killed with overtime this year. I had guys working anywhere from 60 to 80 hours as we were trying to move buildings and do different things that way. Between the high school move, the middle school move, all the stuff as far as trying to get the middle school started into the season, I can't give you a fair estimate of that because I can't. We had way more than would have been figured into that. So, and that's the other thing. The way the contract's set up, we're in that contract. If we see that once we get settled in, you could always go back and take a look at it and see what you've got. But I'm telling you right now, we're completely overwhelmed with everything that we've got going. It's beyond what we can keep track of. And, at some point, we're going to work the guys until they're ready to go find something else because they keep taking the overtime right now, but at some point, they're going to burn out on it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm retiring this year, and the reason I'm retiring is because I'm just flat burnt out on it. It's just way more than I want to try to manage.
And do you have a guy, Rusty, that has the knowledge that you do and the years of experience that you do?
Jeff's working with me to at least get the knowledge base of what's going on and doing that piece of it so that we've got a transition when that comes. I know Ron's got a plan on hiring somebody back that maybe we can, work together and do that piece of it to pass that on. And I've got 12 years vested here. I'm not going to see that fail. I'll be around. Now, there'll be a time frame that I can't because of capers, but, I'll answer a question. I'll do whatever. I'm not going to leave you high and dry. I've vested 12 years of my life here, and I don't want to see it fail. So I think we've got a plan to try to make that move on. But
So in your personal opinion, Rusty, with let's say that we did the maintenance program with Glassman, looking at budget for next year, how many staff do you think it would take to take care of this district?
I would have to go back and put some numbers to that. I honestly wouldn't want to try to answer that off the
Okay,
cuff.
I would like to see what you suggest, or with your expertise and the guys knowing what they do on a daily basis.
Now, my question is, are you asking that with certification and sending him, or are
Nope,
you?
I'm just talking just to operate, the way you said now, like the maintenance of the new high school, mowing lawns, trimming trees, whatever it is that we do, taking care of the two softball and baseball
Okay,
fields
now that
this
I
year, all that
understand-
maintenance.
Now that I understand the question, I think I maybe can answer that.
Okay,
So Jeff and I and Chris have been looking at that, and we understand that our model is we're overwhelmed right now. And as the bond starts closing and we don't have the moves and we don't have lock systems that we're trying to bring in and all those types of things, that's when we want to reassess it and look at what we're really going to do at that point. I don't want to bring a bunch of people on here to bring them in to do something that's temporary and then let a bunch of people go.
Sure.
So we're trying to work right now with what we've got based on some contracts that we had, and as far as like service agreements and that kind of thing, and work through that time frame with that. And then my recommendation, and I'm sure Chris is already ahead of me on that too, is that once we get that in and we've got a year or two to get settled in and see what we really need, then make that assessment, and then you can make it with a fair assessment of what needs to happen.
okay. Any other questions for Rusty?
I guess, are you staying around for the Felton talk to kind of talk about the bond and what else might be needed from you as far as outside the bond work on Felton? Or again?
Yeah, I can stick around. I'm going to get something to drink, though. I'm about to dry my mouth out.
Yeah. All right, Eric, you want to come forward? Thank you.
Good evening, board members and staff. Thanks for having me back. I'm Eric Dingus, Service Manager at Glassman Corporation. I think a few of you had a few questions that you would like me to answer that I was asked 2 weeks ago. I did evaluate, one of the questions was how much time we spend on the current service agreements we have. Right now, we're between 1,000 and 1,200 hours a year. That would equal out, currently on the service agreements that you guys have with us, you have just over $93,000. If you were to take that times our commercial hourly rate at $125 an hour, that's $125,000. That's not including any of the chemicals, any of the extra supplies, any of the extra tools that we have purchased for maintaining that equipment. And if you go to the 1,200 hours, it's $150,000 a year.
Is $125 a industry standard for a commercial rate?
We are actually, if you go, I'm not sure what the standard here in Hayes, but we take a broad spectrum from the state of Kansas to set our hourly wage, and we are compared to Train or BCS or any of the competitors that are close to our size, we are quite a bit lower than they are.
And is this for technical work or just service work?
Any commercial work, $125 an hour.
So every guy that's on the job site gets you bill out $125 regardless whether they're an HVAC tech or just a guy that's carrying equipment. Like, somebody, there's different levels of skill on the job site.
Right, but commercial rate, you don't break that down. It's $125 an hour per person on the job.
So as far as the 1,200 hours, how much of that is HVAC tech, like somebody that's got certificates and?
I mean, all of our service guys that are working at the school are certified in some way. Whether they've got a certificate from graduating from a VOTEC, all of those also have an EPA certification for the refrigerants. We've got one master mechanical, we've got 4 journeyman mechanical, and we have AON trained, trained technicians to work on AON equipment. We have Some of those have either been trained directly through AON going to factory training, or we've been trained through AON technicians which work for BCS. We also have LG, which is what Rusty was talking about on the VRF. Most of your guys' VRF is LG. We've got LG certified guys that either have worked with BCS or have been to actual LG certification training.
So all the guys that come out to do work, or ladies, come out to do the preventative maintenance are certified in something that they're working on. It's not, you don't just have laborers that come out and help out.
No. Every one of our service technicians is considered a service technician. It's not a laborer.
Okay. So everybody that comes out is a service technician with some sort of certificate, bar none.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
On your agreement, can that agreement be 1 year?
Currently, the way it is set up, and I'm not sure why it was set up that way. I mean, that's something that could be looked at, but with what we have proposed right now, the addition to the service contracts or service agreements, I don't remember what the year they go through, December 31st of 29, and those match. The reason we set these up is what the original ones were set up for. We just added them so they would all renew at the same time.
So these are 4-year renewals?
So the new ones would be January 1st of 26 through December 31st of 29.
But we can change those if we want to. We can, there's a back out clause or something.
But it would most likely be a higher rate though, wouldn't it?
Most likely, because we break that down. And you also, like I had said before, when you guarantee that for those many years, you don't have any increases. It stays the same rate per year, so you guys have a way of budgeting for that. If we were to do it on a yearly, it's going to probably increase every single year.
Well, we would bid it every year. So that would be the change that I would like to see. I mean, this should have been bid, and I would vote for this if we go to a 1 year. After we get our new maintenance person here to help evaluate the news, and because to lock them into a 5-year agreement just doesn't make sense. And that we...
It's 3 years though, where are you getting 5?
Well, the original one was 5.
Okay.
And so we already have that one. But the new one, just, and all these 1 year, and then we can reevaluate it the rest of this year and get some more information from Rusty when he sees all the maintenance. We have new equipment. We have most of it on warranty. I just don't know if it's necessary. I think we go with them for 1 year and see what it's like.
But you're hearing, we're hearing
And very
from
little of
Rusty.
your guys' equipment is under warranty. The only
that?
stuff that is still under warranty is the high school.
Right. Well, there's other equipment that's on warranty. There's 10 years, 5 years, different compressors and fans and things like that. It's not all 1 year.
Well, that's if you do your
Correct.
preventative correct too, though, correct?
If you don't have any documentation of maintenance,
It's not any
that
different than a
also-
car.
Correct.
Well, that should be the job of our department. It should be taken care of.
That's up to the board, obviously.
Right, and our department has said they can't handle it without
Yeah.
Glassman.
So what we're doing is.
Well, we're doing it now, right?
We're tying their hands
No,
behind their
Rusty
back.
said we are being stretched and we're not able to do it to this point.
That's why I'm saying we're going to do it for a year, so we can check it and see.
Madam President, I'd
Yes.
like to make a motion.
Okay?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the update to the HVAC preventive maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corporation to add the equipment at O'Laughlin, Roosevelt, Hayes Middle School for $66,520 annually.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I would be agreeable, kind of like Alan is saying, but this goes through December of 20, I've changed this through December of 2026. We're going to bid the high school, like the new high school, to start basically, I'd agree, what I would propose is that we vote yes on this, but when it goes to bid the high school, the new high school, that we bid the entire district, everything all new.
Okay, well, the motion is, and the seconded is the original of $66,520 to Glassman annually. Any more discussion with that? Yes.
I hate to
go ahead.
interrupt,
No, go
but
ahead, Eric.
the one that is not up, we spoke about this, you weren't here, Ruth, last week or 2 weeks ago when I was here. The one that is not up for discussion just yet would be the O'Laughlin, because we proposed that because we were asked. That building is not complete, so it would have to be completed, and then there would be a one-year warranty. So the only ones that we're looking at right now are the addition to Roosevelt and the what would be considered the new middle school.
East Middle School, okay.
Yeah.
And like I said, it should have been bid, and this was not a bid process, so if we wait and take this, we got this proposal, do it for a year, and then bid it all out in December.
And just to clarify, it was bid, it was on the state contract. So when you say it wasn't bid, that's incorrect. It was bid on a state contract.
The initial 5-year service agreement, preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Do you have multiple bids for that?
State contract, the price is matched on state contract for BCS.
Well, so I remember having this conversation when we approved the first set, so the initial 5 years. And I was told that we did not bid it because we did not have to, because it was a service and not a product. So
Technically it is a service, but that service was pre-bid. So we didn't let bids ourselves. We went to the state contract and used the state contract to establish the contract. So they're both kind of correct. It is a service. Technically, it doesn't have to be bid. You can do that by interview. I mean, nothing that says you can't. We can bid everything if we want to, but there's nothing that you don't have to on that service. However, we used the state contract, so we were able to match. So it was bid through the state services.
But I think it's best practice that you put an RFP and you put it out so other people so you get the best price. And we don't know if we have the best price. And we pay for our own filters, and most service agreements that for people who did it, they provide the filters when they come and do it.
I think in response to your question, Derek, I think that this is important, that we get all this equipment on a preventative maintenance. The worst thing that we can do is have this new equipment and not take good care of it. I think the possibility would, in a year, when we do bid, we can open conversations with Glassman to see if that's something they're open to. That's going to be their, people. We have a contract. We're under a contract, so. But that would be a conversation we'd have to have.
either party can get out of the contract with a 30-day notice before the end of the calendar year. So
Sure.
if we talk, I'd like to have things a little bit more concrete, then we'll push it down the road as far as, yes, we passed this, and we'll put it out to bid with bids being back November this year to be voted on prior to calendar year 2027. That way we could see whether we want to go forward with this or...
That's definitely possible. I think the biggest mistake would not to put this on.
I don't think that, at least for me, that's not where I'm coming from. I'm with Alan. I think it should be bid. Mr. Davis, you've done a great job talking to us and answering all the questions. I appreciate your candidness and, helping out. There's no way to slide on Glassman or anything else. It's just kind of the whole process. I didn't feel good about it when we passed the original ones, and that's why.
And I guess my question then would be, if you did a yearly contract, this is based off of current costs. So again, we're talking tariffs again. How do you foresee the future as far as that with preventative maintenance for this moving forward, Eric?
We've tried to analyze that as a company because we go into service agreements. I'm renewing service agreements. I'm updating. We're offering new service agreements to new customers. And that is very, very hard to find because there's not really just a standard, right? Because we don't know what is in the future. It's unforeseeable for us. There has been a significant, you all know the significant amount of cost of goods, the significant amount of cost increases in wages, health insurance. So all of that plays into how we go to bid the service agreement.
But to your point, I don't think that the tariffs or increase on materials affects us because everything. This is just for the preventative maintenance, the identifying a problem. everything that they're actually repairing, all the parts they're actually getting that's outside of warranty is still being billed to us. So it's really just labor costs that would be going into the...
And chemicals.
And chemicals, okay.
Yeah.
But pretty minimal materials.
For the most part, I mean, yeah, but, you know, labor alone increases yearly. I mean, overhead, everything goes into play with that, which you guys understand that.
So, Mr. Yarmer, did you do an amendment to his?
I think we got to vote on
We need to
McAllister's.
vote. I'm sorry, Jess.
No, we did not make it. I call for a vote.
Yep. I'll call for the vote on the, what?
I need a new total, Chris, that's because we're taking a lot from the office.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, still on there.
So the total will be correct.
So it would be pulling off 5520. Laughlin's the only one pulling out, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So instead of, what were we?
66,500.
So the new total would be 61,000.
Okay, so then we need an amendment to that.
Yeah, 5520.
Okay.
Okay, so I have the motion adjusted, Craig made it, he didn't second it, and I'm going to send it for a vote.
Okay. All those in favor, vote yes.
Yes.
Yes. All opposed?
No.
No.
So it was 326.
So it passed?
No,
Oh, it doesn't pass.
We need 4 to vote.
Okay.
So,
Can I speak for just a second?
Yes.
I understand it didn't pass the way it was going with the full contract. In my mind, I don't see any reason why you couldn't modify it to make a motion that you're going to do the contract for this long and modify that piece of it. My recommendation on that would be is get through the rest of this year and go through next calendar year. So it'd be an 18-month contract so that you're coming out of your warranties and everything. And then if you want to rebid it at that point, you would be set to do that and you could look at the whole thing if that makes sense.
What warranties are you talking about? The equipment itself? Because
We're going to have stuff at Felton. Well, Felton, no, you just have the stuff at the high school finishing up. It's going to get you out of this year, and then you would have what they have when they finish up at O'Laughlin that would be finishing up. Then you'd have your buildings settled in because you'd be basically getting through the next calendar year of school. You can sort of look and see what your maintenance is going to be doing at that point and address whether some of that could be brought back onto that. And that would be your stopgap to get everything through until those bond projects ended up. And you at least only tie this much of it back to that. And the 30 days, I've read the same thing you are. I'm sure, but what my thinking is at least get the contracts to finish out the bond, get the school started, look at what you've got for maintenance, and then come back if you want to rebid it at that point. That would make the most sense if you want to rebid it.
I'm sorry, I know you said it, Chris. When are we bidding the Hayes High School?
So before, so Rusty's been starting to work with engineer to get bids back and everything ready to go. We would bid it.
I was going to try to have it for you so that we're bidding it as it's coming out of the warranty, and your warranty's going to be coming out sometime in September.
September of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, if we're going to bid them all together, the new high school's going to be the end of this calendar year into...
But you're already going to be into your next school year with your contract. That's why I'm saying I would make it finish out this year, the next school year, and bid it of July of 27, so that it's following your fiscal year then. And that would make it better as far as following your fiscal year. Does that make sense, Chris, what I'm saying?
But all the contracts are written
Yes.
to close at the end of this year. So we'd have to have new contracts.
You're going to have new contracts in July, and you're not going to be out of warranty yet. So that's why I'm saying if you just get through the next school year, then by that time, you're going to have the buildings done. Your maintenance staff would be getting back to normal on that. You could assess that at that point. You'd have your new guy on, and you'd have stuff covered, giving him at least the school year to try to get settled in and figured out. I'm going to be honest with you, when I came here, let's see, I would have had 30-some years of service, and I still figured if for me to figure out everything that was going on and be proficient at it, it was going to take me from 3 to 5 years to get it all figured out, even with the... So you bring a new guy on, unless you're hiring someone in-house, it's going to take a while to get it all figured out.
But do you have good people working under you that's been through the process and kind of know what's going on? I mean, I understand there'll be a new...
I would work with him like a month or two.
No, I'm talking about the other guys, not the guy replacing you, taking your position.
Oh, if you're in-house, there's guys that have been working under me that would have some idea, but they wouldn't be managing the division.
Yeah.
Your new guy managing the divisions, who I'm talking about, that you'd want to have some time to figure out and let him come in with something in place and then let him figure out where you want to go from there with it. That would make the most sense. When I came in, the first year I was here, I didn't change anything. I was basically trying to figure out what was going on. And that's what's going to happen with your guy, your new guy that you hire, is he's going to have to try to figure it out. And even the guys that are currently here, if you move somebody up that's in-house, they've not been in this position, there's going to still be a learning curve to try to come into this position from a different position.
Mr. Davis, did you say that your first PM actual work is over the summer? So you guys come in and do...
They'll start their first PM in the spring, so they're based off of our heating and cooling seasons.
The last meeting, I initially took the spring as being earlier, but you said it was during the summer break, so maybe not summer, but we're halfway through the school year.
Start in May, I think.
Start in May is when you guys do your first round of filter change and check. So, I mean, we just,
like we spoke last time, we had just finished over Christmas break and shortly after Christmas break with the fall, because that's how Rusty and the maintenance personnel wanted us to do them. So it's actually later than what the fall PM, it just worked better with their scheduling. And then we do the spring one through over the summer, so everything is ready to go for when school starts.
So you'd be finishing up your PMs for this year in May, and then you'd be starting your next PMs that next school year. And that's when you just start coming out of those warranties and doing that. And that's why I'm thinking if you do this 6 months that you have here, do the next fiscal year, then that would let you bring it in to go bid that spring. And then you could start it with your contracts with July and actually get it on a fiscal year with what we're actually doing with our other contracts.
I understand what you're saying. I still think that trying to get one person or one company to do the entire district's preventive maintenance makes the most sense to do it at the time that we're doing the new high school. That way it's one big bid and it is what it is.
Madam President.
Want a gap, and I think that's what you're getting at, is there'll be a gap.
Right.
Well, what I'm getting at is that if we have it established, whoever's coming in to replace me has at least some time to get that learning curve figured out and actually go explore that. Because it's not going to be me I'm going to start getting the bid stuff put together, but by the time we're ready to go bid it, I'm going to be gone. And it's going to be somebody else that's going to be bidding it. And I would suggest that we get tied into this much of it right now so that they're not doing that piece of it. And let them, because they're still going to have to learn all the buildings, and there's a lot to learn. I can tell you that right now.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept the Glassman bid for 1 year, like it's presented, and that we come back, and if we want to extend it, they can extend it we'll look at that to see the extension, or we'll bid it out in December, open it up so we can get multiple bids.
So I just want to make sure to understand
Yeah.
clarification.
Yeah.
So are you saying
If we want to get this started and locked in for this year,
for this calendar year?
for this calendar year,
Okay.
because otherwise we're going to have to send it back and get new contracts to vote on.
We don't
Not
know.
to go with Rusty's recommendation of 18 months.
Well, all the paperwork that we have and the prices are on 1 year, annual fee, So this will go, and then if
But that
Glassman
annual
comes in.
fee is based on a 3-year or 4-year contract there.
Right.
So that's not going to be the annual fee. I mean,
It might or might not be if we have bids out.
so
it might be-
you're asking
it might
us
be better.
to approve a number we don't know.
We don't
is
know.
what you're saying.
Well, you're asking to prove it for 18
A number we
months.
know, yes.
We don't know that.
No, the number they gave us, it's what you're asking for. If they change it, he's already told us he's going to have to refigure it and everything.
And I think it should be bid out in December.
Well, my thing is, we have to give them 30 days notice, so it have to be bid out before and voted on.
You're talking about the one we currently have.
Well, yeah, we have to bid out the ones we currently have.
But this one right here is the other two
But
buildings.
it would go into the
For
ones that
1
we already
year.
have, so I mean, it would be
So,
part of the whole thing.
so we're clear. So at this time, if you guys were to accept the proposals that we've given, obviously you guys would, if you're wanting to do it for 1 year, you would have to give us a 30-day notice, like the agreement says, 30 days before the next calendar year or the next year on the agreement. And if you were to agree, we would leave that price the same. It would just be up to you guys to cancel when that time came. Does that make sense?
Can I say that back and make sure I understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're saying you'll honor the price, basically saying approve it with the intent, knowing full well that we would
Yeah,
provide.
it's going to go, you guys are going to, you're planning on, from my understanding, you're planning on canceling them all anyway at the end of the calendar year to put everything out for bid. I would hate to see you guys fall behind on maintenance on 2 buildings because you are going to wait until then to cancel those when nothing's getting done at the other buildings.
But I guess my motion, which is probably a little different than Alan's, would be to accept this through December 2026 with the, but we must put everything out to bid and have bids back in November of 2026 at a board meeting so that we can vote and continue on January 1st, either, you know, you guys if you have the low bid or whatever new company would bid the entire.
Right, but you would still be under contract at that time. You wouldn't be able to cancel until 30 days before.
30 days before the first of the year, so November would be more than 30 days. So if we voted on it to accept another company's bid in November, then we could give you guys 30 days notice at that time. Then January 1, we would continue, we would start with whatever company.
Okay.
As of January, so there'd be no lapse in coverage.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you rescind your,
So Alan, is your motion the same, that just failed? You just want to do it again?
What's that?
Do you want to repeat the same motion that just failed?
What failed? We didn't vote on.
What we just did, the one that's up here. So it's motion to approve updates to the HVAC preventative maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corporation to add equipment at Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School for $61,000 annually.
For 1 year. And then I will amend if you're wanting to, I guess I don't want to, the contract goes to the end of December, correct?
End of December this year, but I'm adding on that we have to put everything out to bid with the bid packet presented to us in November this year.
Oh, November instead of December?
Well, we got to give them 30 days, so if we don't give them 30 days, then we can't. So that'll close our options.
So we just need to add that to the motion? That'll be fine. Amend the motion to add that we bid it in November instead of December.
Well, no, we bid it before with the bids being presented to the board in November.
Right.
Can I just make a second new motion?
well, are you making the amend, or are you, I'm confused. Okay, Bill, tell me what we should be doing right here. Is Alan making the motion? Are you making
I
a
made the
motion? Are you amending the motion? What?
He's adding to my motion, and I'm accepting that.
Okay, let me read this back to you. Motion to approve updates to the HVAC preventative maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corporation to add equipment at Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School for $61,000 through December 31st, 2026.
With putting out to bid the entire district, so every building that's currently being covered, in addition to Felton and the ones we're voting on tonight, to bid the entire preventive maintenance agreement for the entire district with the new Hayes High School.
Through December 31st, 2026, for bids for every building in the district.
That's a good point. Tweak. It would actually, because it's services, it would be request for proposal. Request for bid is strictly lowest price. You would want interview and reference and all kinds of other stuff since you're doing, since it's
An
a
RFP.
service agreement. So I would ask, or I would suggest maybe you change it from bid to request for proposal.
Have RFPs, yeah.
Request for proposal for every building in the district.
That's my suggestion.
So
they're the ones making the motion.
Yeah, it gets a little murky here because a lot of them we're not technically going on, and so it would be everything that would be currently under a preventative maintenance agreement, assuming that we approve this, plus adding on the high school that's going to be bid out anyway.
So what we'd probably, I'll work with Rusty, and we'll work with engineer to put together bid package proposal, RFP for the entire thing. We'd probably do it a little sooner than November.
Sure.
So that we have so we'd be bringing on the high school and everything else. We may end up paying some hourly rates to do service one round on the high school while we're getting ready, but then it'll all be synced up, and I think accomplish what you're asking for.
So it will include Roosevelt, Hayes Middle School, O'Loughlin, and HVAC.
So Laughlin and Park, not the new stuff. Stuff that you took out of the Laughlin tonight.
We're just doing what the bids are, the proposal.
And Lori.
Go ahead, Chris.
So maybe this, since we already know they're going to honor the price, maybe we just accept the bid, accept the price through December 31st with directions to
Put everything out to bid.
bring back
to board before December.
Yeah. So just do the
No later
motion
than
to accept that, and then give
November,
us the
last day of
directions
November.
that-
Yeah. The last board meeting in November. So bring back prior to.
No later than, that way we can.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Jess,
we
you
may
got
wanna
that? Clear as mud?
We may want to try and do it while Rusty's still around. Like we may do this.
Okay, Jess, so read back to us what you have when you are set.
Motion to approve updates to the HVAC preventative maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corporation to add equipment at Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School for $61,000 through December 31st, 2026, with direction to bring this back no later than the last board meeting in November 2026.
Well, I think bringing this back is a little big as far as we're talking about the entire preventative maintenance contracts for the district.
RFP for district-wide preventive maintenance service agreement.
So if the RFPs go out, Chris, explain to me why that's different than a bid. I mean, the RFPs go out and then they bid that, correct? It's
Semantics, a little bit of vocabulary, but a bid is, we draw everything up and say, you tell us what your lowest price is. We want to buy a bookend. You give us what your lowest price is, we take the lowest price. A request for proposal is going to be much more in-depth. It's going to be 40, 50 pages of, tell us what other organizations, this is how many units we have. Tell us what other organizations you've done of this scale, because we want to prove out that they can do it. Then we want references. Then we want to say, propose what your timeline is. And we're going to say, we're going to give you, preference if you can guarantee you get it done during spring break and during.
Yeah, and how fast you can get here.
There's going to be a whole lot more flexibility and a lot more that goes into it. Like we'll start putting it together now, and we can bring a draft. Our people go
Did
out.
you do that for Glassman?
Say again?
Did you do that for Glassman?
No, because the state did that, and we took.
But the RFP, you didn't have RFP to tailor it to us?
Right. So
Did Glassman
when
have
they
that?
do that, all of that is done at the state level. Service rates are set with, then we get to go negotiate individually and say, okay, these are the service rates and all of this stuff that goes into it. Then we only have to negotiate the finer details when we take it off of state bid. So we're going to go reproduce basically everything there, but it's a bigger thing. If you remember our RFP for copiers, that was 55 pages, and we got, some of the responses were 20 pages, some of them were 110 pages. We sift through all of that to get exactly what we want for service. This would be somewhat similar. It'd be more similar to that than bidding a sidewalk, 10 feet of sidewalk.
I guess I understand the state bidding as far as numbers, like money-wise, but did it also go into capabilities? Like you're going into an RFP, you're going to say we have to do this many units. How did you apply that to the state and get?
So they're more generic when they do it, yes. They're saying like for certified techs, and I don't have to say it in front of me, but they can be more generic, and then we negotiate. They're not going to say you have to be Aon and LG certified. They're going to say you have to have what is your cost for certifications and given timeframes and things like that. Then we can go negotiate the individual details because the framework is set. Here we're going to be setting the framework and saying you have to have at least one. I'm making this up. That's why I'm going to do it when Rusty's are out. But so for sake of argument, you have to have at least one master who has certifications in LG, and at least one master with certifications in Aon, and at least one with whatever. Like we'll draw it up to make sure that we're getting the right right people to do the jobs that we need.
Yeah, I just don't know that I like the fact that we're, again, you guys have had a chance to go out and get all the certifications. I don't know that I'd like to say that we have this equipment, you must be certified to do it within a certain amount of time, but not that you necessarily have to be at the time of signing the contract. So I know that'll be kind of fine points, but I want this to go out and be broad and fair, and like people, whatever business can bid. And when you start getting into that many, this, and this, and you're kind of limiting your pool. Instead of saying, this is the equipment we have, we need certified techs to manage all this equipment, give us your best dollar, and reference would be appreciated.
So that's where, again, that's where the RFP is. We set out parameters and they go right up the proposal. They could say, then we allow them to write a proposal, and then you evaluate it based on a scoring matrix. So we'll bring you back when we start to work through draft and bring you a draft of what the RFP would be.
Yeah, and I'd just like to see all the RFPs that come through as far as.
So, Mr. Jeter, do we have to, since there's a first and a second, do we have to vote on that first before we talk? I mean, I guess my question would be, can we discuss this at our work session in March?
The RFP?
Ron? Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, since the vote was no on the Glassman agreement that we came to the meeting proposing, can we talk about it at a work session?
Absolutely.
Before we even vote on this? That way, too, we have Kurt, we have...
The only thing is, my recommendation is what everyone's recommended. Let's make sure we have service on all of our equipment all the way. So if this is where it's going to get us service on our equipment, I think that's the direction we need to go.
And I
Vote on this so that we can have it in place, and we know for at least the rest of the year.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's it's wonderful that he's already said they'll hold the price. That right there is a feather in the cap for future.
Okay, all right.
You need to.
Okay, Jess, one more time.
Okay. Motion to approve updates to the HVAC preventative maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corporation to add equipment at Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School for $61,000 through December 31st, 2026, with the direction to bring the district-wide RFP preventative maintenance agreements back no later than the last board meeting in November 2026. The motion is made by Alan Park and seconded by Derek Garmer.
Okay.
That'll work for me.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
That passes 5-0.
All right. Phew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And Rusty, thank you.
Are you ready? The next one is
Rusty, thank
6.2,
you.
and it's the Felton.
Yep. All right, Felton GMP, Nabholz.
Good evening. My name's Chris Billinger. I'm a project manager for Nabholz. I was actually just talking with Ron before this. Next week will mark 3 years that I've been out here in Hayes working for you guys. So I just wanted to say, I'm sure I'll see you before I leave the community, but this has been the most rewarding and fun experience of my career. There's a lot of relationships, both with the staff, the faculty, and Ron himself that I'm going to take with me once I leave this place. But
Well, thank you for saying that.
yeah, and I think you're doing a fantastic job tonight. So this is our PowerPoint presentation for Felton. This is just a rundown of the scope. It's a little hard to see, but those blue shaded areas, that's where you're going to have some areas of renovation that are going to include some ceiling tile removal, painting the existing grid, new flooring, new base, new cabinetry. And then the areas that are in orange, pinkish, those are going to be areas in the bathrooms where you've got all new fixtures, new epoxy, new sanitary tie-ins. This picture here, that would be area A, that north-south or planned north-south corridor on the right-hand side. That's going to be a portion where the underground sanitary is getting replaced to grab the waste from that bathroom at the top of the page. The main sanitary that runs plan east-west is at the bottom of the page. And so a lot of that underground plumbing is going to run plan south to capture those bathrooms. This here is Area B. So you can see the resilient flooring. It's going to match a lot of the profile that we had at Roosevelt and O'Laughlin, as well as the Hayes Middle School project. Same thing with the new bathrooms there and the classrooms there at the middle of the page. Again, new flooring, ceiling tiles removed, the ceiling grids painted, new tile gets put in, reuse of the existing light fixtures. And this would be Area C. Our office is actually going to be located in that music room there on the south side, but again, that's just south of the gym. That's going to be the resilient flooring that's replaced there. And then finally, that bathroom on the bottom right corner. New fixtures, new toilets, water closets, lavatories. And so for the civil portion, the area that's highlighted in purple, that's going to be a 2-inch mill and overlay for both those parking sections. We're adding in a new drive off of Oak Street there on the right-hand side. And then it's very faint, but the orange outline there, you can probably see it on your bid docs. That's going to be new fencing that's going to be installed. With it being transitioning to an elementary school, some more safe features there to keep kids close and monitored. So some background, I know I spoke a little bit about this last time I was here, but we put the project out to bid on December 16th of last year. We submitted the advertisement to those listed. On 12/17 of 25, we posted 100% bid documents, had 22 bid packages to try and include as much of that local market competition that we can. On January 7th of this year, we had a pre-bid meeting job walk, had 33 in-person attendees, which was a great turnout for a job of this size. Like I said last time, a lot of those members that attended that came as far as Nebraska, so it's a good sign for the market. And then on January 15th, we received bids from contractors. So we invited just over 4,000 companies. 11% of those viewed it, and then 22% of those confirmed they were bidding. So that 103 number is also a fantastic number to get the best value. And then finally, of those 103 bidding, 84% actually did bid the project. We had just under 4 average bids per package, so as a CM, you want to have at least 3. That way you can, gauge really where your high, where your low is, and what the true accurate number is. Make sure you got complete scope coverage. And then that bottom line, 69.9% of local Hayes contractor participation, that's going to be the actual subcontractor's cost attributed to the project. So that's a fantastic number. I know that was a big goal of the district to try and obtain as much of that work local. And then finally, this is just an updated program budget. So the GMP amount we arose to is that $5,734,887. That would bring your total construction program to $148,690,014.11. Any questions on that slide?
So have you started working at Felton?
We've mobilized our workspace from, we started at Roosevelt in the high school. So the new middle school, old high school, we've moved over to there. A lot of the storage equipment we're going to utilize for Felton has been relocated. But as far as any work starting, no.
Besides the floor being torn up and those types of things?
Yeah, so the floor being torn up wouldn't be part of our GMP. That would have been the abatement that the district and Rusty's team took on.
Right.
So that's not included in that price. But as far as anything encapsulated in the GMP based off the bid documents that DLR put forth, we have not started.
Is there anything else like plumbing or anything else that's already been taken care of or done? Is that part of yours?
Yeah, the underground sanitary being replaced, correct. That's part of ours.
So can you go back to that drawing that shows the bathrooms? And where they're going to have kindergarten rooms?
Is this the right one?
Yeah, it'd be that middle page there. So that middle section there, we're adding bathrooms. Those 2 rooms in the middle of the page at the bottom, that's getting an added bathroom or
so
new fixture.
What is that space now?
That space is currently a classroom, but previously it was a middle school, but we're adding bathrooms for those younger
Is
ages.
that in the new space, Craig? Is that in the east?
No, that's an existing
Is
classroom.
that the science room or?
No. Well, it's changed over the years. I don't know what it.
I believe I can speak to what you're asking, Mr. Park. So if you go up just one page, back to Area A, or sorry, C. It was down. Area C, please. It'd be the third. So just to the left of the gym there, where that music room is, where you can see those practice rooms on the left at the top of the page or the top of that room, there's a head wall there, and that's where I believe that new section of building you're talking about would be. So,
Okay, that's the music area that you're talking about.
correct.
Okay, now are you replacing the fixtures in that bathroom, in those bathrooms? Is that going to be, maybe Anita can tell me, where the music room?
No, we're not replacing that. I showed
That's not,
already.
okay, so that's the upper classrooms will be
Yeah,
there,
it's
like
not-
fifth grade?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't need to replace those? Okay, so you were telling me you're replacing, where are you doing that at? The other bathrooms that are?
Yeah, so anywhere like that very bottom right section there that's highlighted in orange, that would be all new fixtures, new toilets, epoxy floors, the underground sanitary being tore out, floor drains, and tying that back into a new main that travels through those corridors. And then utilizing the chase space as much as possible.
That's the public bathrooms
Yes.
for the gym? Gotcha. Okay.
Well, and none of the ceilings are getting replaced in that new space.
Correct.
Okay.
Because they're already.
That section at that head wall at the top side of those practice rooms and the music, that's where the ceiling portion would stop because that's a newer part of the building.
Okay. Okay, so now go back to the main building where the new kindergarten rooms are going to be.
Down.
Is that in the
FEMA shelter.
just the shelter, FEMA shelter, okay? And so does each of those classrooms have 2 bathrooms or 1?
Each of those bathrooms would have 2. So the middle section, you can see the 2 stalls there, one at the top, one at the bottom. Same thing there on that other side there would be, those at the cursor on there are 1 restroom, but.
Are those first grade rooms or?
Yes, I misspoke. Those are in the FEMA shelter.
They're the FEMA, and we just have 1 per classroom?
Those in first grade.
In first grade. So that's a change of what we've had a standard for our district. All the other first grade rooms have 2?
Roosevelt, we just have one in each. A couple at Oahu just have one.
A couple of them, but most of them have 2.
Most of them currently have 6, but yeah.
And your first grade classrooms don't have 2? All your kindergarten classrooms have 2?
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
I guess it's also kind of brought up as far as how much of the bond money is for bathrooms, plumbing versus just paint and flooring. Were you able to break that down?
To answer your question, I was not. It's easier to do that on a new build like Hayes High School because you're doing 100% of the scope across the entirety of the project.
Yeah.
Here you have different levels of renovation. So
Gotcha.
what we do is we create a bid package based off the plans and specs and then have contractors bid to that. And by doing so, they don't provide unit pricing for X or unit pricing for Y. So that would be really hard to gauge. I mean, I know that's something that you've asked previously, and that's something that we could
I guess
try to get for you.
presumably all the plumbers would be bidding the bathrooms only, and then all the concrete guys cutting out and running new runways, for underground plumbing would be one. It'd just be the paint and the carpet guys that would be outside the.
Yeah, that would be true if you had 100% of the coverage for the bid package. So one of the, I guess, features of a CMAR is that bid package that we bid, a lot of contractors or GCs would throw that bid out. In order to obtain value, we want to make sure that if something was either missed or excluded, we're getting apples to apples on that pricing, or what necessarily they couldn't do that scope themselves, but what would it cost for them to hire somebody to do that scope? That way, that the entirety of that bid package is covered.
I guess kind of with Rusty and the sewers had been cameraed and like there's no other plumbing issues that we know of. I mean, you're doing new stuff, but the old bathrooms, the old plumbing that's not being tied into, did that all check out with cameras?
Yeah, so we worked with Rusty and his team, as well as Glassman, to scope that. We sent that information to DLR and their engineers and revised what originally we were looking at for the total underground work associated with the project. So what we were looking at originally was, okay, this is going to be substantial across the building, but when you finally scope it, you can see, okay, this section needs replaced, this section doesn't, and that also, gave their engineers the ability to see in the tunnels exactly where we need those mains to chase and how we're going to be most cost-effective getting that back out of the building in areas where it's damaged or collapsed.
So that was good information to have before moving forward?
What's that?
That was good information to have before putting things out to bid?
Yeah.
So you don't foresee any surprises when it comes to that? Because you've got it checked out?
I mean,
not $1 million surprise like we did with the law.
No, and I think Dylan spoke to that last time. If you had, I want to call it $1 million surprise, because if you would have had that originally in the scope when it went to bid, it would have been the same price. So that $1 million add, it's just under that, but that would have been included in that contractor scope of work, except it wasn't, and it's adding to it after the fact. So I still think it's the same value of money.
I don't know. I mean, you can cut other things out if the plumbing's more important than other stuff. So it's good to have all the information and know what you're dealing with before you go into a project.
Yes, sir.
So whether we would have done the exact same work outside of the plumbing, knowing that we had $1 million hit somewhere else, I don't know if that's the truth.
And I can't see if Rusty's still back there. Did you guys have questions for Rusty?
As far as what do you think the district is going to have to do after the bond? So say we pass this GMP, there's still work to be done in the school. Have you went through, looked at everything? Like how much more work is there going to be once Napoltz leaves?
I'm sorry to do this to you.
You're good.
That just got you cut out to where I'm not hearing you.
Yeah. So my question is, if we approve this GMP and all the scope of work that he's talking about currently, once Napoltz leaves, there's still going to be work that needs to be done to Felton. Have you went through and evaluated and kind of come up with a game plan how much we think we're going to have to put out a capital outlay to finish the renovations?
I know Chris and I have looked at some of that. As far as having an actual number for you, I don't. What we're currently working on right now.
The thing is, originally we thought there would be areas that we would not be able to cover, but with this plan, we are touching everything that really.
Okay, I misunderstood the question. Yes.
Well, I mean, are you guys redoing the bathrooms right off the gym? I mean, bathrooms right off the gym are pretty run down. The things are cracked.
That was in there, I thought, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I got lost
All
in
the bathrooms are being redone, with the exception of the bathroom on the west end.
Okay.
So to your response or your question, I would respond to probably the only thing that we would need to do would maybe at some point look at that bathroom at some point down the road, but it's not going to be very soon.
I misunderstood your question.
No, I was just trying to
I thought
figure
you were
out-
asking about other capital expenses coming into the building, not the building itself.
Yes, I'm talking about what are we going to have to do once they're gone to get the building where we want it, as far as any other renovations or projects.
So basically coming into that next school year, the way I'm understanding it from what, now that I understand the question, Ron's, that's the exact understanding I have too, is that they're going to be, when they walk out, there's not going to be anything that we're going to be doing on it. Our concentration this year is actually going to be on the middle school, looking at that scope of what rooms we have left to do there, and that's where I'm currently working on that piece of it.
Okay. So
there's only, we talked about before, the only expenses we have outstanding that'll be capital outlay would be setting up, we tore down the playground at Lincoln. Yeah, at Lincoln, and then we'll move, so this summer, we'll have expense in setting up a playground at Felton. So that'll be taking the stuff that's in storage plus the stuff that's at Wilson and moving that over. That's a capital outlay expense. And then we'll probably have some grass seeding and some cleanup and things like that out in the playground. But as far as the building goes, it's all being done.
Yeah, if the building itself's done, there's going to be some yard stuff, but that's,
Okay. So we should have, in the next couple of years, less money needed in capital outlay because new high school, Felton's going to be all done, minus some outdoor stuff. Roosevelt's new, middle school, we got some projects there, so there's a little bit out. But all in all, the major projects should be done. We can reevaluate the needs.
All right, any other comments?
Anita, currently, all your first grade classrooms have 2? Well, we have a price to be adding another bathroom at those, because how many first grade, are you going to have 4 classrooms in first grade or 5? What's the plan?
4.
Should we
3 is
4?
planned next year. Yeah.
But you're going to have,
Buildings were 4. Part of the issue was also space, like adding another.
I'm sorry, Anita, you want to come up so they can hear you too on, yeah.
I said, part of the discussion was also space. Adding another bathroom takes square footage out of those classrooms, so it's,
what size are this classroom now? Because that's one of the things that we were,
I don't,
are they 800, 900 square feet?
somewhere in that. I would think closer to 900 than 800, but
And the kindergarten rooms are bigger, so that's why.
Ours at Wilson are around 900.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I don't know what that, do you have those figures of what that, those average class size is?
To add a bathroom?
No, just what currently, how big are they per square foot?
I don't have it right off the top of the dome, but that's something we could get you. I mean, just looking at the plans, look at plans every day, they're probably around that 900 to 1,000 square foot area.
So a bathroom is like 10 square feet or how?
I mean, it's going to be at least, 4 foot by 8 foot, I think at least 52 square feet would be comfortable.
That's been a standard that we've had in our district. And now
We've already heard that Roosevelt doesn't have that. I mean, she has one in her classroom.
not in all of them, but she has some of them.
We're meeting the standards is what I'm hearing here.
And then Laughlin has them, but now we're going to, and currently we have them in Wilson, and we're now going back to.
I thought she said at Laughlin they only had 1 in their first grade.
One that doesn't, right?
Renee.
These ones K1, yeah. There's 2 that have just
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd go ahead and like to make the motion to accept the construction manager's guaranteed maximum price for the Felton project for $5,734,887.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor vote yes.
Madam President, now it's time for discussion.
We haven't had discussion.
Yeah, but that's the process, so.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to say I'm going to vote against this, mainly because we, as a board, made a commitment, as agreed upon procedure, months ago, that when we have these kind of projects that we are given more time, that we didn't, and once we get a big ticket item, we don't vote on it. That next one that's presented, we vote on the next time. And so going with what we said we were going to do, I'm going to vote against this, and maybe if we can bring it back to another time when we had time, because we got this on Friday.
We've known this was coming.
But
Yeah,
this is
I
the
think
first time. I asked for a scope months ago.
It's important to note that if you delay this, you are pushing they have to be done by August.
And it's important that you know that we asked about
School
this.
year to start on time, we got to get started on this. That's what's
But if you could have brought this to us last week,
You've
2
had
weeks
all of
ago.
it.
Okay.
You've had all
We
of
did
it.
not have the scope. I asked for a scope. You said we
We've
bring it
talked
later.
about the scope. 2 weeks ago, we went through this.
Is there any more discussion?
I'm going to be voting the same with Alan for the same reason. We need to discuss this stuff better, look at it more thoroughly, so.
Okay.
Well, part of the discussion is if you listen to Ron and listen to Napolz, if we vote no and this does not pass, they are moving, we're on a halt, the bond issue over there, till we can take it to next month. And I do not want to be able to be responsible of Napolz not being able to get Felton done on time because we voted against it.
This is a recurring theme of we have to do this now. We've mentioned that we'd like to have, presentation at one board meeting, the next board
I
meeting.
think you're forgetting, Chris was here a month ago, talked all the way through everything. And this is the second time he's been here that has repeated the same thing. So when you say that we haven't discussed it, you haven't had time to discuss it, that's incorrect. because he was here a month ago doing the same presentation.
Mr. Wilson, we did not get the figures until Friday on how much the grant.
Well, even when we went on tours, we talked about Felton and the changes that was going to be implemented.
I do not want to hurt kids and teachers by not getting this building done just because we have a personality conflict on a procedure.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I get what you're saying. Like, I agree, I don't want to hold it up. I also get what you're saying. I agree, like we discussed, it needs to be a two-meeting discussion. But I also think I remember this GMP being discussed at a previous meeting. Can you tell me what meeting that was so I can double check?
It would have been the first meeting of February.
But none of the figures we had until today.
We were still working through the GMP buyout.
Yeah.
But to speak to Craig's point, the plans and specs also come along with a schedule. And that schedule, based off those plans and specs and that schedule, those contractors bid to starting today, 2/23, and being done by 8/10. That start date isn't a contractor arriving on site and starting work. Naples has their own, work that we got to get in place to facilitate them getting started. So I can't speak to that it would increase the price, but we would have to send that back out to bidders in the event that, let's just say approximately 2 weeks, that would put a substantial strain on our schedule to be done prior to the start of the school year.
Okay, so I'm looking here at the first meeting of February, and there is nothing about Felton GMP. The only thing I have is abatement.
Yeah, he was here.
Yeah, I was here because I remember driving back. It would actually been the night of the college football national championship.
I'll Google it.
I think it was January 19th.
January 19th.
I think it was the one where I was.
So about a month ago. Yeah, it would have been the call. Ken was, he was teamsed
First
in.
meeting of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
So as far as budget, I would just point out, we're looking at that. The bond project tracking, if you look at the budget there, we're actually coming in under what the held number was. So yes, you didn't have the GMP because they were still working on that. But as far as the budget piece, their GMP is coming in under what was held. So we will have some money going back into our unallocated to be able to put back in additional things. It could be the playground room, it could be other, however you want to use that. But so the dollar amount is actually coming in under.
What is that number? Like, how much will be going back into?
It's going to be the difference. So if you open up the bond project tracking, we were a little over 6. So it's going to be the difference between GMP. If GMP is accepted, everything that we had in the held construction GMP line, so bond project tracking would go back into unallocated at this point. Yeah.
When did you complete it?
When did we complete it? Would have been this week.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right here, and we had a bond update from Naples on January 19th, where we got a Board of Education update, which talked about the high school and the middle school, and then we got middle school, we had to motion to accept the return of unallocated funds, but there is nothing in there about Felton.
The Hayes Post article from January 20th says Hayes USD 489 to move forward with $6.6 million Felton Elementary School project.
Okay, that's like the second bullet point in this original.
Well, I'm not looking at the minutes. I'm just telling you that we talked about it. So I don't know if that's a discussion, but the thing is, I think what you're failing to understand is you are going to delay the transition. And Anita, I don't know if you want to talk about this and what teachers are going to say. You are putting these teachers in a bind because they're not.
We're not saying we're not going to approve it. We're saying we're just trying to make sure that we have the right information. I don't know why you're getting so upset about it, but we all just need to take a breath so we can check our sources.
You're questioning that we didn't talk about it, and it's right here that we did.
Who was back there that said they wanted to come forward, talk?
If there's
I
a
can't
delay, it's not
see.
coming forward.
Yeah, come on up, Rusty.
So I get the frustration. I've had the same frustration because all these projects end, and when they end, we have a very short time to get our side of it done. And I get your frustration that you didn't get the numbers as soon as what you'd get. And I get that. That's part of it. But in delaying this, and it's been that way with all of it, and I've seen it. And I get the same exact frustration every time we end a project. And there's been times I've been aggravated with them because I'd like to get in sooner than what they're getting. But then the state's requiring, building occupancy that we don't have yet. And we've worked out through different things on that. And it puts us in a bind. If you delay us another 2 weeks and they delay another 2 weeks, we're going to be trying to move in while we're trying to start school. And the high school was a mess. Sean can attest to that too. By the time we got moved in and was trying to get and run classes, finish up work that was in there that wasn't done because we were at substantial completion, but they still had stuff they were going to do, so we couldn't get stuff moved into storage rooms, which wouldn't let us get it out of the middle school, which caused a whole nother conflict with us and the high school staff with trying to get stuff out of the middle school. It just creates utter chaos and creates a bad work environment for everybody involved because everybody's pushed up against it and they're mad at everybody, and because they just can't get into the routine that they normally do. So I get it's throwing you out of the routine that you want, but it's going to throw a whole bunch of people out of trying to get people and students back into class, because we're already gonna be up against it trying to get them in there. And I'm honest with you, that's part of the reason why I'm wore out with it and I'm ready to retire. Is it just everything just keeps coming at us, and you're gonna have custodial staff that's gonna be working weekends pretty much every weekend trying to get them in just for that first month and a half, just trying to get everybody in and get them going. And we had high school on its own, then the middle school with Felton and O'Laughlin, trying to get both of them going. You're talking just about as much building space as what you're talking with the 2 other buildings that we've done, and I know what that's like. It's going to take some time. So I get the procedural piece of it, but also keep in mind what you're doing to your own staff by having this argument at this point. And I get it. I understand where you're at. I'm just saying there's a flip side to that in trying to make that point now that's going to cause more heartache with your own staff down the road.
Well, thank you, Rusty. And I was just going to say, I guess I'm a little confused by the whole thing because the bond itself was Hayes High, Felton, Roosevelt, O'Laughlin, and we closed Lincoln. That's what we voted for. So I'm a little bit confused. I don't know if you're questioning the number, you're questioning the layout. I guess I'm confused with that portion of, we knew it was going to be approximately this amount of money, just from the bond itself, so I'm confused with the delay when we knew it was going to take place. So
I know I can't speak for Kirk since he's not here, but I thought we had a consensus as a board that large expenditures, we wanted to be brought to us the meeting before we voted.
But that's what I'm saying. We talked about it on January 19th.
That's not what, it's been brought up multiple times that board meeting before, you can make the presentation, just like we do for any changes to policy. There's a read through the week.
We talked about it, okay, January 19th.
Yeah, so there's a read through the meeting before, the policies that are presented for a change, then we vote the next one.
This is the second time we've talked about it.
Okay.
No.
Enough. Seriously, enough. We talked about the numbers before. What's getting confused is that we hadn't seen the layout before, and so it kind of felt like something brand new. It is okay that we would like to check our sources and double check that we had talked about before that. There's no reason to get mad about that. I also understand that construction works on its own timeline, and yeah, we do have to get it through, and we don't want to hold the kids and the staff back. So getting ticked about it, and I feel like I'm being bullied into not being able to take a second and look back to make sure we did talk about it, because dang, so many things are being thrown around. That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad that we got to see the layout. I'm glad that it's coming in, I think, under what we talked about on the January 19th meeting, because the January 19th meeting was $6 million.
Yeah, there would have been an updated program budget there of what we were tracking for the final project of the bond, and that the GMP that we're proposing tonight comes south of that.
And I feel for staff, would it be reasonable? I'll vote for this and we'll pass it through, I guess, that in the future going forward, say expenditures more than $100,000, that we talked about at the board meeting before it's brought to us for a vote?
And that's what I'm saying. We did talk about it. This is the second time.
I'm asking about the actual number, the proposal. So you'd be like, at the next board meeting,
Well,
we
you
will
had a proposal of $6 million on January 19th.
that was an estimate, not a proposal.
Well, okay.
So what I'm asking, and I don't know if, there's a majority that agree with me, but I feel like we've talked about this to death. And my answer to the problem would be vote yes on this, but admin have going forward, that agreement.
Another option is we can have a special meeting. We can give us some more time and do it in a week.
Ms. President, I
Yes.
call for the vote.
Call for the vote. Motion to accept the construction was moved by Ken, seconded by Craig. All those in favor, vote yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Everybody vote, Jess?
It's not popping up, but I voted yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, thank you for
Yeah.
everything you've done and
Yes, thank Chris.
for the district. We like that.
Thank you, Chris. All right, okay. Jamie, did you want to go to an executive session before this?
She moved financials first.
Oh, yeah, you want Purple A first? Okay. All right. Discussion then, Alan?
Yeah, has to do with Purple Wave.
Yep.
We currently have a vehicle that is on Purple Wave that we've not voted on to sell, and I just was curious why isn't that not brought to our approval?
I think that
I'm not
was,
sure what you're talking about. The check in financials was for a bus that was sold.
Right, I'm talking about the one this is talking about Purple Wave. The vehicle is currently on Purple Wave that is to be sold in a couple weeks was not brought to us to approve, and I just wondered why. Because it's a surplus item, and all surplus items should be brought to the board.
I think, I don't know if you didn't vote on it, but Russ was here and he had shared all that information that he was getting rid of that bus, so.
It's not a bus, it's a truck.
Okay.
It's a
He had that on
moving
his
truck.
informational sheet.
It was a food service truck.
Yeah, you talked about.
Is that part of the fleet?
No, this is not part of, well, it is part of the
It
fleet.
depends, I'm not sure exactly what we're talking. The buses were not part of the fleet.
No, the food service truck.
The food service truck would have been a part of the entire fleet conversation when everything was agreed.
But it's not sold by Enterprise, it's sold by 489. Anything that we sell should be approved by us.
But I thought that when it's taken over by the fleet recommends what's best or the best way to sell it. And so if they recommend that it's best to sell it by the board.
This is a
But if we sell it, we have to approve it.
Well, we did approve let them make that decision. We did. That was
So
part of the
what's he talking about, a truck?
It's something different.
It's that moving food service truck.
This says a Bluebird
bus.
school bus on it.
No, I'm talking about the one that's currently on Purple Wave.
Well, that's
Well,
what
we did not
The
approve.
one we're talking in consent agenda is the 2014.
We're talking
bus.
about an item that's Purple Wave, and I have a question about Purple Wave.
So it's not on the agenda?
It's not on the agenda then, so you,
It's with these other 7 vehicles that we did not approve.
I don't know about, I don't know.
But that's not on consent, that wasn't in consent agenda. I mean, what's in consent agenda is this bus.
Right, but it's a discussion item, and Purple Wave is on a discussion item. So we're talking about
but
a process that we're using, that we're not following state
Just ask for approval.
statutes.
yeah, so I'll ask for an approval of the consent agenda with Purple Wave.
Yeah, just approve the
Okay.
financials.
But it doesn't even need to be approved. It's not something we approve.
You're just,
You have to approve it because you pulled it out.
Yeah, you pulled this out of
I
consent
know, but
agenda.
why is it even in the consent agenda? It's just information for us, right?
it's part of the financials.
It's part of the financials.
Yeah, it's just informational. You're really not approving it, but it's just included. So, like, I probably should put it in my report, so it doesn't really matter.
I'll make the motion to approve the financials as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor vote yes.
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 All opposed? All right.
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie, did you want to go into executive session before the administrator contract extensions?
Yes.
Review? Okay.
Want me to make the motion?
Yep, make the motion.
I make the motion to go into executive session for personnel matters for non-elected personnel in order to protect the privacy interests of an identifiable individual. I would just like the 6 board members at this time, and 15 minutes should be plenty.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, vote yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay,
What time are you returning?
we will return at,
50?
are you okay with 50?
Yeah.
Okay,
I couldn't hear who was being
8:50.
invited.
all the
Just
board
6 board
members,
Just board members.
just board members. Okay? All right, Derek.
I would like to add, do you think we need Mr. Jeter in there?
I mean, he's welcome to attend if you would like, but at this time, I would like to just have a discussion with the 6 board members, and we're more than happy to come back and add more people later.
Any more conversation about that? Do you want Mr. Jeter? Anybody? Okay, all right. Okay, we'll vote as it is. All those in favor, vote yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, we'll be back at 50.
to go forward with this. So I'm going to make a motion to postpone for 2 weeks.
I'll second.
Hold on one second. Okay, you want the motion to say?
I motion to postpone the district administrator contract extensions until the next meeting.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor vote yes.
Yes.
All those opposed vote no. No.
It never came up.
I'm still typing.
Oh, sorry.
That's taken.
Derek, did you second?
I did second, yes.
Okay, now it's coming.
So it says about executive.
That was for executive session.
Okay, the motion is to postpone the district administrator contract extension until the next meeting. Motion was moved by Jamie, seconded by Derek. Did you get it?
No.
Yes.
Okay, Craig, how do you vote?
No.
Alan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken, how do you vote?
No.
Jamie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ruth, how do you vote?
No.
Derek, how do you vote?
Yes.
The motion fails 6-3.
Okay, so what's going to happen next is we're going to motion to approve it. I'm going to tell you that's probably going to fail. So maybe we should take it apart one by one.
Well, I think that would be a good idea to, I mean, it comes down to it, what are we going to gain by 2 weeks other than, I think the issue is doing more of a case-by-case individual.
Well, I have some questions about the contract that I'd like to talk about.
Sure.
When were these additions or changes made on the contract that you presented?
Real quick,
What changes
Mr.
did
President?
Well, there's some things that are highlighted, and that's not, those aren't changes on this contract?
Yeah,
They are?
right.
Okay, so when were they made? You just
What do you mean?
recently, or?
Those are I highlighted the proposed changes. Is that?
Okay.
I have no idea.
So who made the changes? Administrative team? Who made it? You did?
So I reviewed how we actually administer. I ran it by Bill and provided you with a way, with some options to update.
Okay.
Because there's a couple of things in there. The contract matches basically, if you go back, and I gave you samples all the way back to 1991. If you look at the details, it still looks exactly like that. We don't provide a single health plan.
Right.
We provide to administration the exact same thing that's in the negotiated agreement. So I propose language that you match with what we actually do. You don't need to.
So is this a contract for all administrators?
Every single administrator, yeah, we talked about that last time. Every
Right.
director and
Which is different,
license.
which we changed.
No, it's not. They're the same. If you go back.
We did do 2-year contracts on all the directors.
There was a window of time in which they were not 2-year contracts, yes, but the entire time, the director, every contract I found for every director and every central office admin or building level admin was the exact same.
I think we need to, first of all, you cannot have a one-sided contract change. It's got to be done two-party, not a one-party. So you did it as one party, and it needs to be done with both parties.
No, I don't change it. You change it. I gave you suggestions on how to
Okay.
update it to.
But you're approving something that's been changed, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Next is that most districts don't have one contract for all administrators. They have a contract for the superintendent, a contract for, they have different contracts. I got samples from KSB. The superintendent's contract is 8 pages. We haven't even checked that out. We don't even know, and if we approve a contract, it is approving the exact same contract for another year. And when was this one that you proposed, when was that changed from these other contracts?
What's changed? I don't.
Well, this contract here was used last year?
Right.
Was it used the year before?
The watermark, like as we change software, the watermark is different, the wording.
The wording's different. There's a lot more in there. all the information about negotiated agreement, that's another thing that KSB said, you would never want to put anything about negotiated agreement in the contract, because administrators do not have anything tied in negotiated agreement. So any reference to NEA should not be in there. Maybe board policy, but you don't reference NEA.
Okay, so what are you making a motion to change something, Alan?
I'm
What
just
is?
saying that we need to get together as a group, and we should not,
Well, who's on the negotiation team?
what?
Who's on the negotiation team? Don't you guys
We don't
review that in that?
negotiate with, it's up to the-
But you talk about it.
What?
Do you not talk about it in your negotiation team?
Not about administrators.
Not administrators, no.
Okay,
That's what the teachers.
But
Okay.
first we need to take the contract that Chris sent us and send it to KSB. Have you done that?
we have Bill Jeter right here, too.
I know, but
Yeah.
KSB will do it,
We'll send it to them.
and then we'd have that back, and then we can look and see what their suggestions are, and I'm sure they'll take out anything that...
And you have sent it to Bill, Chris? Yes. And do you have any, do you know what he's talking about, Bill?
About the contract
Yeah.
itself?
Yeah, okay,
I mean, I've looked at it.
okay. And you want to comment or add to, I mean, we wouldn't have to send it to KSB if you've reviewed it, correct?
Before. I don't know what concerns he has that's missing.
Those are the
I mean,
main
you can
things.
add page and page and page and paragraphs of boilerplate language and come up with an 8 or 9 page agreement.
Okay, so I guess I'm asking, what, are you making a motion to delay it? I mean, because Jamie made,
Last meeting is to send it to KSB, and we haven't done that yet. So if we do that, that'll be helpful to get an opinion.
so what would KSB say that Mr. Jeter couldn't tell us? Which would he just said? What would be the
KSB will
difference?
have a form contract.
A form contract, that'd be the only difference.
But usually KSB says, but here's our form contract, but it's up to the local board.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And their administrative contract is for administrators.
You've never had any issues with an administrative contract in this district.
But this
I'll
contract
just say
has
that
changed.
now.
This has
You've never
changed.
had one.
This is not the same contract as we've had in the past. It's different. And we as a board has never
It's been
changed that.
updated, but the essential form of it is never.
But that's a one-party,
Never been
that's a
questioned.
one-party change. It's been updated, but we haven't voted on it. We've never seen the contract until this year.
Well, it's
Well,
a
you'll
free service.
vote on it when you approve the
I mean,
contract.
it's like free
I
service.
know, but we're voting on something, yeah, we're voting on this
It's
last
not
year's
new
contract.
work. It's, they're giving us their form.
Well, maybe they can review and give a recommendation. And Mr. Jeter's a
why
great
we
lawyer,
pay
but
Mr.
I mean,
Jeter.
all they do is school board stuff, and like they've compared to probably all the other districts, you know, it's kind of a specialized form of law, I would think. I guess I don't know. I know contract law and the school board.
They do it all the time.
So I don't think it's wrong to get a second opinion.
I don't care if you want to use KSB's form. And we can tailor it
I'm not saying we're going to use the form.
to suit our
Look at
needs.
ours.
Well, it is a form, that's what it is. They're not going to do your contract. They're going to give you a form contract,
No, I
and it
talked to
needs
them
to be
today. They
tailored.
said that they would review our contract and give us some,
Well, they can do that too.
just
Yeah.
review it and
So
give us
who
some
did you talk to, and I can go straight to them, and then we can get,
one of the attorneys,
you know, which one?
and I'll tell you, yeah, I'll tell you.
So I guess I'm asking, what,
wouldn't-
are you making a motion? What do you
Well, I
want,
think-
Alan?
I think we already have a motion to table it, or no, we could do another one. But those are my concerns about the contract, that I'd like for us to do our due diligence and look at this and see if we need to make some changes. So I guess if I need to make a
So
motion.
you're mad they made minor changes, but you want them to look and see if we need to make changes. That's what you just said?
No, I'm saying that the board.
We're delaying
the
all
board
the
and
administrative contracts
work
because
on the
you don't
contract.
like minor changes.
The board and the contract, board and the administrators work together to come up with a contract. It's called a two-party system. One party cannot just present this and we just do it. And that's what we've seen. They presented this last meeting, and we had a chance to look at it, dig into it, and you can look at all the changes. If you go contract by contract, they are a lot different. And this one that is, I guess, was used last year.
I would work to go hardly line by line, if there's things that are different.
Mr. Pallister,
NEA is different.
Mr. Pallister, you have something to say?
Alan, maybe I'm wrong on this, and maybe I'm not sure of it, but you said it needed to be a two-party. From 1980 till I retired, I never met with the superintendents to talk about what the contract said, other than my contract.
You're right, and I didn't either, but what I'm saying is
You just said it needed to be
if
two parties.
No, if you change the contract, it has to be done with the administration and board. If you change the contract.
Can I
Yes,
clarify?
yes,
can I
please, Mr.
clarify
Jeter,
something?
please, yes.
Your agenda item says all you're talking about is contract extension. You're not approving a contract, you haven't agreed on salaries.
Correct.
So all you need to do is determine what extensions you're going to add to a contract, which then later will be approved by the board.
I talked to KSB, and they said if you extend the contract, you're extending the exact same contract.
No, you're not.
Well, that's what they said.
Well, why don't you say that in a motion, that you're not extending the other terms and conditions of the contract, you're just determining the number of years? Because that's all you're doing.
I'd still vote no at this time.
Yeah, I think we're at an impasse.
I think, like the last meeting, Mr. Ballister said, it's very important to have all of the board members present. I don't know why Kurt is an exception to that, so we should wait. We should wait until we're all here.
Sounds good.
Sounds fine. Is that the motion?
So I make a motion to postpone this and push it off until the next meeting.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor vote.
We're
Oh,
tabling it,
We're tabling it.
not pushing it.
Do you have, Jess, do you have it typed up? Are you confused?
Or computer, did your computer go down?
Yeah, my computer died.
Yeah, our computer died, she had to get it charged.
Okay, motion to postpone the district administrator contract extensions until the next meeting.
Which would be what date?
March 9th, right?
Okay,
Ron,
Yeah.
before we vote on it, as a former administrator, I would really worry about why administrator contracts have been delayed 2 different meetings. Can you relay that it's more of a looking at the contract wordage?
What did we just say? We said we wanted everyone present. That's why. Like,
Okay, you're right.
okay,
Who seconded the motion?
Yarmark?
okay, all those in favor vote yes.
Yes.
Executive session.
That's executive session again.
I don't know why it's connected to that. Ken, how do you vote?
I'll vote no.
Ruth, how do you vote?
I vote no.
Derek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. And Craig, you voted yes, and Alan, you voted yes. Okay, it passes 4-2.
Okay,
Does that apply to 6-6 as well, since they were split into 2?
no, that's separate.
Since 6-5, and like we split it into 6-5 and 6-6. Did we vote on just 6-5? Do we need to do it again for 6-6?
Yeah, but you just need to vote on, you're talking corrections.
Yes.
Yeah, you just
So-
ready to vote on them. If you want to table them, you need to make a motion to table them.
So
Or you can vote on them.
are there any concerns? There's no contracts listed on that, so I'm assuming, are there the same concerns?
What's that?
Are there the same concerns?
On the directors, the district directors' contract extensions?
Well, yes, I mean, usually there's not the same contract for your superintendent. It's all different contracts. And we get the,
Well, we're past the super.
we've never done that before.
No, we're on the
We're on the district director's contract, 6.4,
Line
like
item.
nutrition, accounting, technology.
I think we should just
transportation.
table all of them. I thought that's what your motion was.
No, because that was a separate, they were separate items.
Move to table those as well.
Second.
Okay, did you get that, Jess? To table the district director's contract extensions as well until March 9th?
Yes, who made the motion?
Me.
And who seconded?
Jamie?
Discussion?
Any discussion? All those in favor vote yes. Oh, sorry.
Well, just normally we do the directors in March anyway, so it's not like February's a little early for them anyway, so it's not a problem to delay them to the normal time.
Okay, all those in favor vote yes.
Yes.
All opposed vote no. No.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you because it's
Okay.
executive session. Craig, how do you vote?
No.
Alan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken, how do you vote?
No.
Jamie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ruth, how do you vote?
No.
Garrett, how do you vote?
Yes.
It's 3-3. Motion fails.
Okay. All right. And
So,
Good motion, and then pass it, then we say vote no, and then.
I mean, I don't understand, is it important to have everyone here or not?
we have the right to vote as we do, so.
You absolutely do,
Yep.
but it's interesting that we vote this way this week, but not last time.
I didn't.
make
I
a motion
didn't. I wasn't
pass-
here.
or to-
They did vote this way last time.
Yeah.
I voted against delaying it last time.
All right.
So did Craig.
So executive session, we have no,
You chose to delay it last time.
After much discussion, he originally voted no.
So do we need, like, make a motion on this and then maybe vote it down, then we're done, and it still gets pushed off to next?
it will get pushed off till next meeting
So I make a
then.
motion to extend all district directors' contracts for 1 year to 2027 to 2028.
Second.
I second it.
Oh, Jamie already did.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Terry?
Send you the right one.
Yes. No.
Motion, it says motion to extend all district director contracts for 1 year.
That's correct. Isn't that what you
That's
asked?
what
Yeah,
his motion
Okay.
was.
It fails.
Okay.
Make a motion to
All right.
adjourn.
Second.
We have no executive session, Ron. Okay, all right. So I will, you make a motion to adjourn, okay? Meeting is adjourned at 9:10.